Yes, the biggest challenge I've faced setting up this business, because I remember when I started, it was just my phone. That was all I had. But that was not really the problem. So my biggest challenge was that I started out without having the right set of people, coaches, mentors in the industry. I went into the business blindly. I felt I almost gave up. The major challenge I faced while starting out was sufficient knowledge of the industry thing. I remember coming to my mentor and then I told him I was going to quit and I wanted to just get a job somewhere. He encouraged me, but he said this is part of what it takes to build a business. Like there are people who will not subscribe to what I am doing if I have not stood the test of time. It requires social proof and then it requires sustainability. I have been able to deal with them because when they doubt, I don't hold it against them. It is okay. In fact, I always expect those doubts to happen. So when they begin to doubt, I don't feel any offense or kind of become offended and all that. So what I do instead is I say, give me time. Because once I have done, I show. If it is not enough for them, I just request for time to go and do it more. I am not rich because I can buy. I am rich because I can sell. So production over consumption. You are not rich because you are buying. You are rich because you are selling. If you don't have anything to sell, then you don't have the real knowledge about wealth yet. Yes, the biggest challenge I've faced setting up this business, because I remember when I started, it was just my phone. That was all I had, my phone and the internet. I had a problem of how do I start? I had my own fears of where can I get money to start? Where can I get funds? Yes, that was all I had. I thought I needed a huge amount of money. I remember someone asking me to write a business plan for the company. And when I was doing that, I thought I needed 5 million naira to start the business. But that was not really the problem. So my biggest challenge was that I started out without having the right set of people, coaches, mentors in the industry. I went into the business blindly. That was what led me to the many cases in this business, because when you're recruiting for people, I did not know that when I recruit for people, I was like a shorty of those working there. So I recruited one time with my team for a company, and then the people went there. We had no paperwork. They went there and misbehaved, went away with the company's properties and all that. I was now the one that was at the receiving end, unknowing to me, because I did not know that okay, such a thing could happen and I would be the one to receive it. So it led to police case and even almost court. It was a challenge for me. I felt I almost gave up. It was a big challenge for me. So the major challenge I faced while starting out was sufficient knowledge of the industry. So that was my major challenge as at then. Yes, so I had a mentor already before then, but he was more on in business. So I did not have specific people in the HR consulting industry. So there was something my mentor told me. Yes, the first person that I had to communicate with the vision. He said I should go to LinkedIn. Yes, he told me to go to LinkedIn, that I would find people who are already doing what I want to do. So when I got to LinkedIn, I started connecting with people in that place. I could now learn from them, their posts. I could now engage. I could now ask questions. So that was where the idea of going paperwork came in. It helped me a lot. And today, one of my greatest strengths is that for every recruitment we do, we ensure that the candidates are in our books. We have their details, their database for anything at all. It helped me because the only thing that stood out for me was that instead of just doing it blindly, for every step I took, I began to ask questions. So today, I have been able to connect with people who have gone some 10 years ahead, 5 years ahead, even 20 years, and it has been a very good one for me so far. Okay, I remember the first when I finished school and then I came home. My dad had already prepared a job for me. Yes, he was, because before now he always has that connections. Getting people job was not really a big deal for him. So as his son, he has been doing it for many people. So graduating, he had his own plan. And I think he mentioned the amount. They said the salary is 100K, young graduate, that was a good deal. I remember in the living room, I boldly stated, I said, no, I was not going to do the work. I was not going to take the job, that I want to pursue this dream. It was very difficult. In fact, it came like a shock to everybody. And that was even the beginning of my challenge. Then the idea of managing the complexities of online and offline, it has been there, because you are dealing with people who are working. I work from home, but I'm conversing with people who have physical locations. So some of them, possibly the first time we'll get to meet is online. So it's not like they know me anywhere. It's when I write proposals, maybe they see me anywhere, and then they want to see me in person. Some would ask me, so where's your office address? Let's come and meet you there. Then the field I'm going into is a professional field. And I tell someone that I work from home. It does not really, it used to be very difficult for me as at then. So the only thing that gave me an edge over those situations was that I had proof of everything I have done. So at the starting point, I began to do the jobs for free for people like senior colleagues who had businesses. So I started recruiting for them at no cost. So when the people who connect with me that don't know me very well, what I use to show them that yes, though I am online, I have been able to provide this service for this and this. So I had my proof of it. So the best way for me that I know I dealt with those, see, it is there. People had their doubts. There are people who have turned down our proposals because they feel like being online, you don't have a physical location, so we can't even contract anything here. But what has helped me so far is that I built relationship with people who were close to me, who already are doing business, who recruited for them. So now use that as a social proof. So it helped, and then some people could now open up their offices for us to come and visit and then have some conversations. One of the major things I did that has made me to stay relevant was that I provided results first to the group, the people I started with. So it gave me a soft landing to be able to take any strength to go to the next phase of dealing with people. Then why I have been relevant over the years is that when we want to recruit for companies, we don't just tell them that this person wants to come and work. We try to show them what the person can do and how valuable that person can become to the company. And then the people that we are sending is that we train people. So we have a community of thousands of people across different platforms currently, right? But for anybody we are going to refer to any company, must be someone who is a member of our community, someone who has undergone our training, because we hold regular seminars, we hold regular webinars, events, both physical events and virtual events across Abuja and even some parts of Nigeria. So it makes these organizations, when they see us do these things, it gives them this form of confidence that for this person to come under this body, it means this person has understood. I remember one company we recruited for a CEO one time, and then he said, okay, so what exactly is the difference in you and everyone? I said, because the people we bring are trained, so we can be sure, because we have their database, they register, right? We have the form they fill. So if we say, okay, this person is fit for this role, we know that this person has undergone our training, our teachings, our guide. We bring people. So that's what has helped us to remain relevant. And everybody we send to an organization has an 85% chance of remaining in that place based on the value that the person will produce. All right. So for Brainiacs Africa, we have the non-profit activities, and then we also have the profit activities. The non-profit activities are the annual conferences we hold, the seminars we hold. Yes, we do those things frequently. Like this year, we have one coming up this year as well. So that's for the non-profit. Then where the profit comes in is in our dealings with the companies that want to now take advantage of the non-profit activities we do. Because the trainings we provide, we have the free trainings we provide to just generally anybody can come, attend our seminars, attend our events. We keep their database. Yes, we keep them. We keep the database of the people as a proof that okay, this person to have gone through our programs to this extent is valuable for an organization. So the organization now comes to us and take them at a cost. So it's like the non-profit activities prepares them for the organizations to want to take from us. So organizations come to us. We have a fee for it. We have recruitment fees. We have training fees, like staff training. We provide those services. They come, they get it from us at a fee. Recruitment also at a fee. Consulting, we do HR consulting, like outsourcing. A company can just take our own brand, our organization to completely handle the HR processes of their organization and say, okay, between this month to this month, everything about our HR activities are under our care. So those recruitment training and consulting are the major thing that gives that furnishes the company with the finance it needs to foster the youth development or social development, social impact activities that we do. So we don't just do it. It's not an NGO. Yes, we do it to help, but also we also need help to be able to help the youth. Yes, of course. Okay, so you see, the HR consulting is such a technical industry, and when I started out, I was naive. So I needed to connect with people who had already established businesses for 10 years, 5 years, 20 years. My difficulty was level kind of thing. I was at ground zero, someone then trying to convince someone at ground 10, at level 10, to accept what I want to offer. So majority of these people used to think that, what do you even know? I remember having one event when someone said, what do you even know about business that you want to tell us? What do you know about employees that you want to tell us? You've not employed anybody before. Do you know what it means to build pay salaries? Some of those things were so discouraging, and some people say it to my face. So it was a very difficult thing. I remember coming to my mentor, and then I told him I was going to quit and I wanted to just get a job somewhere. He encouraged me, but he said this is part of what it takes to build a business. Like there are people who will not subscribe to what I am doing if I have not stood the test of time in sticking to that particular thing. Because even the people that I want to bring the services to them, they also had experience. They also experience what I'm experiencing. So if I give up on it now, it means I've already proven to them that I don't have the capacity to stand and do business with them. So doing a B2B kind of business requires, number one, so much experience. It requires resilience. It requires social proof, and then it requires sustainability. So I've been able to deal with them because when they doubt, I don't hold it against them. It is okay. In fact, I always expect those doubts to happen. So when they begin to doubt, I don't feel any offense or kind of become offended and all that. So what I do instead is I say, give me time. The ones I have done, I show. If it is not enough for them, I just request for time to go and build more. And that is why when I started out the business, I did not start with the mindset of profit. Because when I started out, I began with the mindset of impact to get social proof, so that any other business owner that wants to interact with me will see results that I have been able to acquire without the person's input. So it looks like this person is coming with what he has done. I also am coming with what I have done. That's how I close the gap in between. All right, so the biggest lessons I've learned is with my team. My team, that the people that work with me are very superb. In fact, one key drive that keeps them active to want to do any engagement with me or to carry the vision is that when they come into the system, the first thing I do is to allow them see the system as part of the process that will lead them to their desired goals. Because everybody that comes to work with me in any capacity, in any level, I don't see my own organization as the end of their journey. I only see it as a process or a part of the process. It is only someone who is convinced that I am called to do this thing for here for long. That, but there are people. So my own leadership principle is that anybody that comes to me to work with me does not, I would not make the person feel like this is all that there is. I only provide a platform for the person to manifest his or her gifting, so that even if the person wants to rebel and go, I have nothing against the person, because I did not expect so much of the person to be in that place. So what I know it's not that easy. Yes, it's not that easy, because people feel like if you invest so much they will go. I always advise, or I would advise business owners to take note of, is investing in the people that come to them without expecting a return. Yes, you will find people who will rebel. Maybe 9 out of 10 will not appreciate what you have done as a business owner, but at least there will be one whose comeback will trump over the 9 that were without gratitude. So that's what I feel. Okay, because of that reality, I always give, when I'm talking to some of the people we recruit for, I said, in your offer letter, let it be clearly stated that there is a, in fact, this is what I believe, that anybody you want to employ, there should be an agreement for the minimum time frame that the person can be. So let's say you employ someone to work with you, and then you have a minimum of 12 months that the person will work. Use the first 6 months to train. Use the other 6 months to. So it's not like you are going to do the training to 100%. No, you will do 50% and then allow the other 50% to be produced by the person you have in. So the person knows that although we are doing this thing to you, we are doing it because we want to see the result in this organization. So we cannot send you to go for, maybe pay for a conference or something, you go there and then come back to think you're just for us. No, the investment should be an extension or expansion of what you have that will be reflective in the organization. So most times the problem is that most business owners don't clearly state these things, and we shy away from it. Some think we are just doing it as a goodwill. No, it's not a goodwill. I remember there was a training where the CEO of a company, he stated it clearly. See, we are giving you this training. You're not a video editor, but there is a video editing training going on and you have interest in it. Yes, you can learn it and do anything you want to do in the future, but as far as this time frame is concerned, you are going to learn this thing, master it, and deliver results. So it is written and clearly stated, so that anybody that wants to go against what is there, you can have a case. It will not stop. It will reduce this hatred, this fight between this way I was working. People now start naming it's toxic. It's definitely to be toxic if they've invested so much on you and you're not giving them the vibe or the value that they desire. Okay, so the truth is, no matter how we try to make it 100%, we will not arrive at that point of 100 wholesome of this dealing with people, because the nature of man naturally is selfish. So the company is investing in the person for selfish reason. The person is receiving it for selfish reason. So what I feel, or I think will work for every organization, is that let your selfish reason be higher than that of the person you are employing. Or yes, let it be higher and you can achieve. So you are saying that, okay, so that you can give room, since it is higher, you can give room for the person to also express his own selfishness. But before the person will grow and say this thing, you want to now find reasons, we must have gotten at least a return of the investment. If it is a video editor, before the person will start acting funny and say he wants to leave because he's not getting some gigs out there, at least we should have seen some level of result for the time being. Unless the person decides to say, okay, he wants to just leave without anything. If he leaves, then he will not. People are tricky. Some people can be tricky. So you must allow room, give room for that. And I discovered something. You see, when you are training somebody, you are training the person to come to a particular phase. When the person is approaching that phase, ensure you also have trained yourself to go to the next phase. The thing is that most business owners train staff, but they don't train themselves. So the staff come with this mindset that I was not like this. It feels like I can now do what my boss is doing. I can now do what my manager is doing. You understand? So it now looks like there's this equality in results as far as the company is concerned. So the best way for you to manage this staff and be able to be ahead of the game is that while you are training the staff, you also are training yourself. So there must always be a point in the staff journey that the person will need you as the business owner to be able to even rebel. So, but if the person continues to come to you and then it feels like I'm better off. It is because of me that this thing is working. You know, this kind of mindset. If I am not here, it's not going to work. Imagine for me, for instance, if I have a staff, my mentor will always tell me this, that anybody who is doing something for you, even a staff in an organization, ensure you have a room for replacement even before the person leaves. So you have already created a system whereby even this person leaves immediately. So there are some organizations that we work with, they know, and that is why even the people that we send, they know that if they misbehave and they leave, these organizations have us, that they can reach us immediately, and the next day they have a replacement, even more than who they've gotten. So that's the best way. As the staff is being trained, you also as the business owner, you must train yourself. You also as the business owner, you must develop yourself, so that there must never be a time when it will look like the staff has already known everything that you can do or can happen to the company. You know, someone will leave the company and feel like it is because of me that the company has been existing. Why? Because he feels like he has known everything. So there must be ways that will be like a mystery box for them. That's the only way to be able to manage everything. Yes, for me, I feel I am few amongst the many people that do recruitment who offer to their own community members consistent trainings. Let me just give an instance. We have different WhatsApp groups for just WhatsApp, a lot of WhatsApp groups with thousands of people coordinate, but my team hold meetings, like they could just host events, virtual events, almost every week, talking about the job market, talking about how to even ace an interview, how to transition in your career, you know, preparing the people, sometimes even the people who are unemployed, based on the things that we keep teaching every day, they become so prepared, and some of them don't even wait. Some of them could even get jobs outside our platforms. So the uniqueness is that anybody, and I always say this, anybody that gets staff from our company, from our brand, will be less concerned about, because we'll be less concerned about the person misbehaving, because even if the person misbehaves, we give them guarantee that this one person we are giving you, we have 10 out of. So even the company, sometimes when we want to give them staff, we give them at least 5 to 10 people for one position, and the 5 to 10 people are very good. So if they take that one person and say, okay, come and work for us, the company owner is already aware that this person is here out of many. So the person cannot act like I'm the omnipotent, or I know everything, or I am the best at the best that I cannot be replaced. So the uniqueness of what we do is that we prepare people. We don't just say because when people are desirous for a job, they can make many promises. So we must prepare them. We prepare them and then give organizations this feeling that, okay, we have prepared this one, and in case he chooses to misbehave, we are not just leaving you, because sometimes, like the end of the year, we always ask for appraisals from every company that has a staff from us. We ask for appraisals so that we know. And I personally, I visit organizations that so they don't just see, it's not like we are just looking for money, just get us. We go there and then study, brainstorm, and then with the CEOs and say, okay, so what is the challenge? What can we do? How can we make it work? So that is how we share ideas with them. Unique. So we are not just an agent just for the money. No, we want to be a part of the companies that are growing, and we want to also be part of the staff. We also want to be part of the owners of the organization, so that everybody can grow, because we believe that if the company grows, the employers will grow, the employee will grow, and we also will grow. So that's the thing. Yes, my first selling point for Brainiacs Africa is trainings. Yes, you see, there is this sense of confidence and relaxations that company owners have when they see us offer trainings here and there. We go to campuses, we prepare people for life after universities, right? Life after campus and all that. So many people, when they hear that, okay, when we tell them that, okay, you want to do this recruitment, we have the people. Our unique selling point is that we make people prepare. We prepare people for the job even before they look for the job. So when they get the job, they will come with value, not just a demand. I always tell people, our community members, that every organization that says there is a vacancy, they're not saying there is a shortage of human beings around them. No, they're not saying there are shortages of people in that environment. No, they're only saying the vacancy connotes value to be filled in the organization. So my own selling point is that I try to train the people in our platform for the vacant positions, not just for their own needs. Because the fear is that many people, once they graduate, they just feel like because they've graduated, automatically someone owes them a job somewhere. No. So we prepare them so that at the end of the day, the employer and the employee have a meeting point, which is value. The employer is in need, the employee is in need. We, Brainiacs Africa, come in between to create a value system that the employer will be proud of and the employee will be glad to connect with. So our unique selling point is not that we are not just going to cajole employers to come and get staff from us. No, we don't just say, okay, this person is coming. We have to prepare the person and vet his or her capacity, credibility. But the problem is that most people don't do those capacities because they spend most of their time chasing after jobs instead of preparing themselves for the jobs. So while they are chasing, we are not just telling them, we are telling them, don't just chase. As you chase, prepare. So our uniqueness is that we are preparing them. That is why we have less situations, just very few, where you say someone goes to a company and then misbehave, because they know where they are coming from and they trust us very well. They trust our brand, they trust the things we do, because it shows that yes, we have a heart for them. And there is no organization we've had our dealings with that we've not been, from the onset that till date, we say we no longer have a conversation with because of the staff. Okay, so the genesis of Brainiacs Africa started from a conference that we hold. It's called Gwagwalada Business Conference. I remember the first time we had that conference, a lot of people were wondering, what do you mean by Gwagwalada Business Conference? Why not just give it a fancy name? Something, something that will be just people would like to just connect with immediately. But I said something. I said, you remember California, New York, London, all these names. I said, do you know that what makes those names popular or big immediately you hear them? It's not just because the names are fancy. It is as a result of the activities that happen there and the quality of people that find themselves in that place. So the name is not what makes the city, it's the activity that makes the city. Making Gwagwalada Business Conference as the name of an event was so that people could know that there is such a city. And of course, when we started, people outside Abuja came for the event. People outside Gwagwalada came for the event. And we've been doing it. Last year was our 3rd year anniversary. And we'll be having another one this year. So it means it is not the name that makes the business, as the case may be. Yes, it contributes, but the places we are running to go and do those businesses, there are people who stayed in that place and then said they were going to put out the name. Now, I'm not saying I will spend my whole life in Gwagwalada, but at least, even if I want to leave Gwagwalada, there should be a footprint that we can say, okay, this thing that is happening in this so country, in this so state, started from somewhere called Gwagwalada. So as I grow, the name Gwagwalada will also grow. University of Abuja is in Gwagwalada, although it is an Abuja university. Why is the Gwags itself popular? Because there is such an edifice called University of Abuja. So it is the activity. My drive, my vision, my push is that I want to introduce this thing about personal development, personal productivity, entrepreneurial drive amongst the young people within the city, to not have a limitation. If anybody wants to ask me anything now, I can say what I do today. I connect with people outside the country. I connect with people outside the state. I connect with people different part of Abuja, from my very seat in Gwagwalada, not even in an office, in my house. So if it is possible for me to build something that will attract the audience of thousands of people who want to know, then it is possible for anybody to do anything in that place. So it is not the name that makes the city, it's the activity. If we have people who can build up activities, engagement within their environment, it will be a very big city to be reckoned with. All right. So for me, there is a problem with location. Yes, I can't deny that because there are times when even if I had an office in Gwagwalada, I can't ask someone to leave Gwarimpa to come to Gwagwalada for us to discuss businesses in large volume because it will sound somehow. So it is a limitation, and because I know this, I'm not the pioneer of the Gwagwalada city itself, so I'm also a product. So what I intend to do is that I will leave the Gwagwalada, but before I leave, there must be a footprint. That even if I operate in Gwarimpa, along the archive of my stories, it should be that this thing that you are celebrating in this place began from a place called Gwagwalada. So I'm not going to stay in Gwagwalada forever. Like the Gwagwalada Business Conference that we're talking about, it will in 2026 we'll be having the final event, which is next year. That will be the final. So after next year, we'll now start going to other states, other cities, and all that. So we will not remain in Gwagwalada. It will bring some limitations, and that's why we are having anybody that wants to have meeting with will always have a way to meet in the urban area, I mean the town axis to discuss. Now, if I could change anything, is survival mindset. People do business not because they want to cause change in their environment. They just do it because they want to survive. The reason why people remain small in business is not just that the market is small, it's that they are not willing to expand their horizon. So they just feel like once I get this certain figure, they relax immediately. They don't bring themselves to the form of discomfort. If anybody celebrates my business in Gwagwalada and then I feel like, wow, oh no, I think I'm making waves. I'm making waves. That is the only place I am. It's not going to work. So small business owners have a problem of thinking small, not just thinking small, celebrating success too much. They celebrate it too much. So they don't feel like moving ahead is a big deal. So I don't do survival. Even when I could not have food to eat while doing my business, I never thought that, okay, let me just do this transaction, sharp, get me so that I can go and buy something to eat. That thing is not there. I'm looking at the long-term effect of everything I am building. So small business owners are small because they think small, as the name implies. Big businesses were once small, but they did not. No big business started big. They were all small. What is the difference? Is that when they were small, they were not just thinking of what to eat, what to wear, where to stay. That was not the whole thing. Even when they had the opportunity to amass all of those things, they were now reinvesting the money into the business so that when the business grows, they can also grow. They don't want to grow higher than the business. Success to me is when I fulfill my purpose. You see, many people attach success to material things, whereas those things that we hold on to and think those are success were created by people. So it means if those people were not on earth or didn't think of creating that thing, it means we will not be successful. So my own desire for success is that at the end of the day, the vision I have for Brainiacs Africa is that we want to close unemployment gap in Africa to the barest minimum through capacity development. Why? Because we believe that when people are enlightened, are equipped, not in theory, but in practice, people are enlightened, are equipped, are trained, they can be able to build themselves either in entrepreneurship or in career or skill. So when I discover that these things have become a pattern, a culture within our environment, that is when I will know that I'm successful. But if I still see people who are majorly driven by, let me get a job to survive, I know that I have not succeeded in helping out. So I will continue to do what I do, continue to train, continue to consult, continue to equip and enlighten people about the need for capacity development daily. Why? Because the world is evolving. What used to be true 5 years ago is not entirely true now. What will be true in the next 5 years is not what we are practicing now. So it means capacity development consistently is the only way that a job seeker, an employer, or an employee will have as an advantage to take over the world. in the days to come. That will be my success. Not the cars, not the house, not the money, not the travels. Those things are good, but those are just finite things that will just give us temporal joy. I want something that even if I'm no longer existing, this thing should become a practice in the environment. All right. If I have so much resources, the number one problem I will solve is education, because everybody is a product, education and information, right? Everybody is a product of the information they have. And someone who is in America, even at a 20-year-old kid in America is different from the 20-year-old kid in Nigeria, not because of their age difference, but it's the information. Many people think, yes, the system they operate, but someone who is born into that system is being informed that this is a basic thing. I used to tell people that it is because we are in a society where what should be basic suddenly becomes luxury, like what to eat. Someone is going to a place where you are eating, you are now making it look like it is an achievement to eat this kind of food. Where you are staying, those things should be kind of basic. So there must be a reorientation of the value system of society. In Africa, people are only educated to consume more than to produce. So if I have enough resources, it's not to give to people to consume. Instead, I will provide system structures and environment where people will come to be reoriented, and then to come and learn and unlearn and relearn the things that they've known from childhood to where they are. If they've learned enough, they will relearn. If they've learned the wrong thing, they will unlearn, so that they can get a balanced perspective of what it means to build a profitable society. Because at the end of the day, education is different from school. School is a system that provides education, but the problem is that many people think because they went to school they are educated, and that is not true. Education is you being aware of your world, the systems, the process that makes it work. So with my resources, I will educate people and educate them right on the things. I don't claim to know everything, but with the little I know that it will lead me to know more that will help me lift other people into that direction. Yes, the one thing I wish I knew when I started was that I am not rich because I can buy. I am rich because I can sell. Many people think their wealth is a result of what they bought from the market. They don't know that the real rich people are those that are receiving the money that they've gathered to exchange value. So I did not grow up with the mindset of transacting value to get something. We just felt like, okay, go school, graduate, get a job, and that is all. So if I had known from my childhood that being entrepreneurial in nature is not a big deal, I wouldn't have stayed this long. I would have got it, because everything I started to do in life and destiny was in my 200 level in the university, and it was almost late. That was when I began to drive to talk about trying to create opportunities instead of just look for opportunities. That was when I began to pursue and create systems instead of just looking for a system to fit into. So if I had known it earlier, I think by now I should be doing more than what I'm currently doing. So production over consumption. You are not rich because you are buying. You are rich because you are selling. If you don't have anything to sell in form of product or service or information or knowledge or education, then you don't have the real knowledge about wealth yet. Shout out to Volt Win Limited for giving us this opportunity to share our business stories. You hardly can find any platform like this where business owners come to share their stories, their pain to the public to know, because people feel like entrepreneurship is one easy thing. So platforms like this gives us the opportunity to share things that are behind the scene, to give people the right knowledge to work with. And I hope that many business owners like myself, those who are established and those who are rising, can always be available or can be granted the opportunities to share, so that we can have people who will go after this entrepreneurial journey from the point of value, not just from the point of hustle, without knowing that the real game is not as easy as it is. So hearing for connecting with Volt Win Limited will grant you the opportunity to learn real life lessons, real life situations, real life facts that will catapult your journey in any way.